Hey Flosstube, welcome to Creative Whims Studio. Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been 2 months since my last video. I have so much to share with you guys. I hope you had an amazing holiday season. It was insanely busy for me with Jingle Ball, and then I did Vlogmas on my other channel, and that was amazing. But I did like the 12 days before Christmas with that, and I really enjoyed it. Learned a lot about St. Nicholas and how he went from this amazing, generous, kind saint, and how that whole story morphed into Santa Claus. So it was very interesting. I learned a lot, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And then you know, we hosted Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then we had a big party at our house the Friday after Christmas because my friend Renee was in town. I should say our friend Renee was in town, and we hadn't seen her since August. So we had a big party at our house, and then, you know, my birthday's New Year's Eve, so it's just been, wow, a whirlwind. And then I got sick the week after New Year's, and then Kevin got sick last week. So it's been not such a great start to the new year. We are finally getting snow though. It actually looks like winter. We got probably 4 to 6 inches yesterday, but it snowed really hard. It was very windy, and it's been snowing most of the day today as well. So it's very pretty to see this blanket of white on everything, and just the wind has kind of died down, so it's just those flakes that just float down. It's so beautiful, I have to say. I'm starting to like winter a lot more in my older age. But anyway, Bree and Eric and the kids are leaving tomorrow to go on a cruise. And they weren't here Thursday because they were sick. Not Thursday, Wednesday. So we have them on Wednesdays now because Easton has wrestling on Thursdays, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we didn't have them this past week, and then we won't have them this coming week because they're on a cruise. It's like, oh, I miss them. I do. I miss their antics and their crazy energy. So it was a lot of fun though. You know, having little kids around during Christmas is just magical and fun. So really enjoyed that. So let's start with a couple FFOs that I have. I'll start with this. This was my class for the Jingle Ball, but the way we finished it in the class was different than this, but this was something I finished just to show them other ways that they could stitch and finish their class project. So it's just finished on a book. Oh, and it's stitched on that fabric flare, 32 count. Not sure what the name of it is, but it's got the white polka dots, so it looks like snow. I think it's super cute. This book was perfect with this red. I had no idea that this red was going to match that red. It just turned out, I love it when you find a book that just is perfect like that. So I was really happy with how this turned out. My other FFO is this piece. So this is a Patreon ornament. I think it might have been in July when this came out, but I'm not sure. But I love this. This is finished on one of Chantelle's, I think this one's called tag, shiplap tag, I want to say. But it, well, I didn't finish the back. I didn't paint the back. But anyway, you can get an idea for the shape. So I printed, or I stitched this on 40 count XU Designs Grandpa's sleeve, which is that really grungy fabric that I absolutely love. I did change the colors too on this. And I think the reason I changed the colors is just because I wanted to start it and I hadn't pulled the floss. So I just used floss that I had already pulled for another project because it worked. And this is actually a giveaway, or a smalls exchange, I should say, for a Christmas party that never happened. So it's happening February 1st, and we all decided we still want to do this gift exchange, the smalls exchange, and we're going to make it a Christmas party because that's what happened. I mean, that was what was supposed to happen. Anyways, I think it's super cute. I'm trying to find more and more ways to use Chantelle's finishing products because I love them so much. I love her too. That's the main reason. But I want to support her business, but her products are amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then this bow, this was just some ribbon that I purchased from Factory Direct Craft. Yeah, and I made just this little hanger. I painted it red, sanded it. Super basic, super easy. My favorite FFO is this one. This is also a Patreon chart. This was for October of last year. I remember this vividly because I was at the Primitive Gatherings retreat, and it was the first, and I had to get these uploaded, and I was up till midnight trying to, you know, hang out and visit, but yet do my work, get it done. Anyways, my sweet friend Dawna Lightsky, she is the She Shack Stitcher. I'll put her information below. She has a Flosstube and Instagram. She's a beautiful stitcher. Well, anyways, she stitched this for me. I'm pretty sure I showed it in my last video, or actually I showed it in one of the videos because we went to the Farm Girl Gathering, but before we did that, we all met at, not we all, but a group of us friends met at Country Sampler and stayed there for a couple days and stitched and had the best time. So it's in those videos. So I know I showed this and told you about Dawna stitching this for me. And I've been wanting to finish it since then. And I was just thrilled when I found this book. I intended on finishing it on one of Chantelle's boards, but most of Chantelle's boards are vertical and I needed horizontal. And so I thought, well, let me look at my antique books and see what I can find. This book could not be more perfect. I love the color is perfect. It's kind of grungy. Look at that. Oh, so you just never know. Like, I normally don't buy pink books because I don't do a lot of pink things, but I'm really happy that I had this on hand. Then I want to show you actually how cool this book is. It says Andersen's Fairy Tales, The Ugly Duckling. Look how gorgeous this book is. I gotta get my face out of there. I love these vintage books that have really cool drawings in them. Oh my gosh, like how cute. And as you can see, I paid only $5 for this book. I try to stay in that $3 to $5 range. I have spent more if it's a book that's really, you know, really unique or something, or a unique size or a unique color. Anyways, so yeah, thank you so much, Dawna, my sweet friend. Oh my gosh, what an amazing gift. Whenever somebody gives you something they stitched, you know they really like you. And then my last finish, it's not an FFO, but it is a finish. I will put a picture up here showing where I left off on my last video. So my last video was 2 months ago. So in those 2 months, and this has been done for, I would say, probably 3 weeks. I've had this done. But look, guys, I have a finish. I finished this super cool deer designed by Beth Twist for the Farm Girl Gathering. I absolutely love it. I love how folksy and crazy looking that deer is. I love the colors. It's just so different and so unique. Oh, it's so good. And now I just have to fully finish it onto the amazing box that her husband made for us. And I can't wait to have that done. So hopefully by my next floss tube, I'll have that done. You know, I probably would have had it done ahead of time in order to show it today, but it was still up at the house, like in my stitchy, this amazing bag that I bought from my friend Heather, Punky Pearls. Anyways, I have all kinds of like projects in here, and it was in here, and I would be down at the studio and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to bring that down again. And it happened over and over and over again, and I'm like, ah! So it's here now, no excuse. Since we're talking about finishes, I want to share with you some things that people sent in that they finished of my designs. So first we have Kathy Parker. She said, hi Theresa, just wanted to thank you for a great class at the Jingle Ball. I finally had time to fully finish the ornament today, and I just love it. So thank you, Kathy, for sharing that with us and for taking my class at the Jingle Ball. Next we have Beth Galeen. She said, thought I would send you a picture of my finish of Prey. Used the Call for DMC and fabric 28 count Cocoa by Weeks Dye Works linen. Feel free to share with your viewers. Thank you, Beth. Oh, I love that one. That one and Angelic Vision. Those were the two, like the first two angels I ever charted. And they're still very popular. Love seeing that. Next we have Wendy Davis. She said, I wanted to show you my finish of your lovely sampler. I knew when I saw it that it would be a perfect wedding sampler if my son ever popped the question. He has 2 bloodhounds and a gray tabby cat, and she has a black and white French bulldog. I also loved the words in each corner and that the alphabet in the center offered lots of opportunity to customize. I used 40 count Weeks straw and the called for threads. I had to laugh when you mentioned in one of the Jingle Ball meet and greets that you got feedback that stitchers didn't like half stitches. I took most of them out and I think it looks fine. It did require that I fill in the background of the skirt. I looked up all the times and places where you plan to teach in 2024, and unfortunately none of them work with my schedule if I could even get in. Can you share where you'll be in 2025? You mentioned that this will be the last for a while. Okay, so there's a snowmobile going through my yard, and I do believe it is our son Ryan because he has a new snowmobile. And he's the only person that I know that has a snowmobile. It's so funny, just real quick before we move on. Yeah, it is, because I can see him, his friend Dan has a trailer and he pulled it because Ryan's gonna store his snowmobile here. Hold on one second. So anyways, how fun. I had a snowmobile when I was growing up and I loved it. We lived on this kind of a busy road, but we had fields all behind us, and I could ride the snowmobile all the way to like the middle school that I went to, and I loved it so much. Having a snowmobile makes winter bearable, if you ask me. So I'm gonna see how much of this I can get done before he comes in and says hi. Okay, so thank you so much, Wendy, for sharing your beautiful finish with us. Yes, you know, she took out the fractional stitches and you can't tell a difference. It still looks amazing. So very cool. They're kind of flying. They make me a little nervous, guys, in snowmobiles, because trust me, my brother would go super fast with me on the back, and I'm like, no, if I'm not driving, I'm not going. Okay, so next we have Diane McClure. She said, hi Theresa, I attended my first retreat this past May, Stitching in the Wild, hosted by Garon Stitchery. You were a featured designer, and Sunshine and Blooms was an exclusive for those at the retreat. I said, I love it. I gotta have it. Gary and Ronnie had also thoughtfully made the called for fabric and floss available. I chose the 40 count Grandma's Slip by XYU Designs. I also couldn't help myself. I had to make it my own. So I reimagined it as a sampler by adapting the alphabet chart in your faith, hope, peace, and love pattern. How ironic that we just showed that pattern. I hope you approve of my efforts, and I would be honored if you wanted to share this picture with your followers. Sincerely, thank you, Diane McClure. Well, thank you so much, Diane. I love that you added that alphabet on there because I'm going to be able to release this in 2024, and I think I will chart the alphabet on there. So thank you for that idea. It just really makes the piece. Next we have Cheryl McGregor. Finished, but waiting on trims to fully finish. I oopsed on the bow tie and didn't realize it until I was done with it, and then decided that I liked the darker base. This is from Cheryl McGregor. Thank you so much. Aw, so cute. Thank you for sharing with us. Jan Holder, she said, hey Theresa, hope all is well with you. I wanted to share an FFO of your piece ornament. It's stitched on 28 count Night Sky Lugana by Fiber on a Whim. I think I used mostly called for colors, but no, there was at least one sub on the leaves. I used Classic Colorworks Barreled Cactus. My daughter-in-law cut the oval chipboard on her Cricut for me at 6.5 wide by 4.5 high. I trimmed them with Lady Dot Creates mini pom-poms in sandy gold. I used the piece that comes off when you separate the pom-pom as the hanger. I finally have a stitched ornament on my tree I bought 2 years ago just to put stitched ornaments on. What a gorgeous finish, Jan. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. That is a Patreon ornament. Like I talked about earlier, I do those ornaments every month. So thanks, Jan, for sharing with us. Next we have Norma Scott. She said, hi, Theresa. I'm just sending a picture of a piece I finished lately. All I've been stitching are your charts. I love them. Thanks, Norma. Oh, this is Fall Feels. So this was a Patreon design in the fall. I think that was for a tier 4. Darlene Burden said, hello. I've been working on designs in the new Hello Autumn book. I thought Harvestina would make a nice stand up for our Thanksgiving table. I used 28 count sand linen by Picture This Plus, so she would finish at 7.5 by 3.5 inches. She will soon be joined by Harvested. I love it. Have a blessed Thanksgiving from Darlene. Blessed Thanksgiving. That's kind of funny because, yeah, it was before Thanksgiving, I think, that I did my last Flosstube. Okay, next we have Kathy. Hi, Theresa. I finally FFO'd our first retreat piece from Primitive Gatherings Retreat. It's mounted on an antique cutting board. I love it. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I really enjoyed hanging out with you in Amana. This is from Kathy. I love you, Kathy. Oh, so beautiful. So Kathy, I think she works at Primitive Gatherings, but she does some cross-stitch designing for their Christmas, one of their Christmas books that Lisa Bonjean put together. Kathy designed some pieces in that, and she also is very good at wool applique. So when I'm there doing the retreat, she's helping people, you know, learn how to do wool applique, and she also does punch needles. She's multi-talented. So thank you so much for sharing that, Kathy. Your finish is gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. And last but not least, we have Julie Saffield. Green Coat Santa and Right Jolly Old Elf, both stitched on 32 count Affogato by Fiber on a Whim using the called for colors. Nature, stitched on 32 count Albarium by Cedar River Linen and Designs using the called for colors. Your charts are always so magical to stitch. I love them. Thank you so much, Julie, for sharing all 3 of these finishes. Wow, you've been busy, girl. Oh, I love those Santas. So Green Coat Santa and Right Jolly Old Elf, those were Patreon designs in 2022, in July, I believe. I usually do like a Christmas in July. So both of those will be in a Hello Santa book coming out in 2024. I'm telling you that because I get so many questions about that green coat Santa that people love and adore. And a big part of that reason is because in my fabric line with Riley Blake Designs, what was the name of that one? Chris Kringle. No, it was just called Kringle. That fabric line, well, the big panel was this green coat Santa. So it is coming, y'all. I might do it in July, so I can do like a Christmas in July. That would give you plenty of time to get it stitched before Christmas. So look for that to come. But thank you, Julie, for sharing all 3 of your beautiful finishes. If you finish one of my designs and you would like me to feature it here in my Flosstube video, just give me a quick email at teresacogat3@gmail.com. Send your photo, send, you know, all the details that you can on how you finished it and how you stitched it. That would be great. Thank you. I'm going to share with you some paintings that I worked on during the Vlogmas. So when I did Vlogmas, I did a painting, like a speed painting video every day, and then I did a voiceover. So last time we left off with this guy. He's so cute. So here are the other ones that I painted right before Christmas. Oh, sweet moon, shine so bright, help me guide my sleigh tonight. I love this guy. Definitely these would be charted. Definitely, because I love them all. I'm kind of on a Santa kick. I mean, I still could paint Santa now and be completely happy with it. This says naughty or nice, and he's got that big list blowing in the wind, which I love. I love his little posture in that one. Be Jolly. The Raggedy Ann just kills me in this one. I love it. And then our buff pink coat Santa. I love his little sad face. Oh my gosh, I just love him. Yeah, when I painted this, I was painting it during Witch of Paint Wednesday, and I'm like, I'm trying to branch out and do different coats, color coats for my Santas, and I think the pink kind of looked vintage, so then I went with the turquoise teal kind of color to give this whole thing a vintage feel. He, however, does not look very vintage. He looks like he works out at the gym pretty intensely, especially on the upper body. I love him. All right, this guy is another one of my absolute favorites. Look at him with his pipe and the smoke going around his head. I love the stars on his black jacket and his jeans. It says, it says the stump of a pipe held tight in his teeth, and the smoke encircled his head like a wreath. And then the last day of Vlogmas, of course, I did a nativity scene. Glory to God in the highest and peace to his people on earth. And yes, this will be charted and stitched on a navy fabric. Or even black. This is what I'm currently working on. I started this on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, Witch Paint Wednesday. Not too much to go on it, but this will be charted too because I absolutely love it. I think this for fall would be so fun to stitch. And that's it. Those are my most recent paintings. Earlier I mentioned Riley Blake Designs. This is the current fabric line that is, that has shipped to shops, quilt shops everywhere. I know Theresa Venette, she usually carries my fabric lines as well if you can't make it to a store, a local store. It's called Hop Hop Hare. And I just thought I would do a little flip through on this storyboard. I have all the fabric. Behind this chair are 2 giant boxes. You can kind of see the top. Anyway, I have a bolt of each of these fabrics. So you guys, I need to get some shelving, not shelving, but like from IKEA. I know there are things that you can line up your bolts in. Anyways, I need to get those because I need I need to have them accessible. If I have them in boxes like I do now and just stored, I'll never use them. This line features bunnies galore and in a color palette that is different for me, but I really love it for spring. It's like a teal and kind of a rose color. I don't like to say pink. I mean, I suppose it is a pink, but it's like a dusty rose or a pink, dusty pink. Here is the all over pattern. Here's a little zoom in. You'll probably recognize some of these bunnies, especially if you're in Patreon. A lot of the bunnies are from Patreon, but this couple in particular, I think you can see them better on the front. Yeah, that was released at Market last year. Love is the Key is the name of the design, or the chart, I should say. Yes, and I almost always include a black background for my lines because if it's not black, it's like a dark navy because it just makes everything pop and it ties the whole line together so beautifully. And then here is the stripe. That's really fun. I see project bags being made out of this and quilts. Cheryl, I can't forget quilts. It tells you where you can get it. Pre-ordered craftsman quilt pattern, and then it tells you the fabric requirements, but that's all on the Riley Blake website. I'll have that linked below. And then this was by Bluebird Patterns, and then here's just showing some colorways. I love the bunnies and the wreaths. And then that's it. So yeah, that's in stores now. Always in Stitches. They just showed it on one of their recent videos too, so yeah, check it out. Oh. Hey, I seen you. Ryan stopped by. Him and his friend Dan. It's always good to see the kids. Oh, it's just always good to see them. Okay. Moving on to whips. I'm not doing like a whip parade. I'm not showing all my whips. I don't really have that many to show. Most of the things I'm going to show you, you haven't even seen me work on at all. The first one I'm going to show is Cherry Jubilee. Now this is a Patreon April 2022 chart, but it's going to be in the Hello Spring book, which is coming out in March at the Nashville Market. So I'm working on the book now. I just got the cover of it designed and I'm putting the book together. So, but the stress is off for me to get this finished for the book because I still have quite a bit of stitching on this. But my sweet friend Michele, Mama Loves You GB, I knew she had stitched it, so she was sweet enough to send me a picture of her finish. I just have to put like Photoshop a frame on it to make it fully finished, and it'll be in the book. And I absolutely love this design. I love the colors. I really like my fabric choice. This is 40 count Legacy Fiber Arts, which I usually just say LFA linens. So if I say that, it's Legacy Fiber Arts, which is Rachel and Sue of Floss Toss here on YouTube. This is Old North Church. Now, I did substitute a couple colors, so I'll make those notes in the book. I swapped out DMC 355 to 3777, which I think I did that because I didn't have 355 and I wanted to start it so bad. And then DMC 3866, I switched to Classic Colorworks Toasted Marshmallow, and I did that because the other white 3866 wasn't popping off this fabric choice enough. So yeah, the last time I had this done, didn't even have the bird started. I didn't have that flower or the heart or this flower or that little flower. So yeah, I stitched quite a bit. Oh, guess what else I did? So the last video I did, I was showing you that I was filling this in while the grandkids were here. Well, I continued filling in, and then the LE for learns was off one vertical stitch. And I was gonna try to fudge it, but I knew, it was gonna drive me nuts. So I ripped that out, restitched it, and then I filled all that in. So I did a lot of stitching on this, guys, since the last time. This bird, from here to here, I filled that in during a Zoom with my friends just this past Thursday. So I love my progress on this. I'm so happy. I cannot wait to have this done and framed. I love the colors. I just think it's so pretty. I love the saying. I love cherries. Anyways, super happy with my progress. I don't get to say those words very often. Okay, so then the rest of the things I'm going to show you are actually things that I have started since I last did a Flosstube. This one, so I don't have a picture of it because I only have the chart printed. This is going to be in the Nashville cookbook. So every year Yarn Tree Needlework Retailer, they put together a cookbook, and it's fabulous. All the recipes in there are from either shops or designers or, you know, someone in the industry. They have recipes, there's free charts in there, and photos and stuff like that. So I put a recipe in there, and then this is my free chart that will be in the book. So let me tell you about it. I'm stitching this on 32 count Forbidden Fiber Co. Woodland, and I love it. Now this is a 32 count, and I'm stitching 1/2, and that was actually a mistake. I'm so used to stitching one thread, and not to mention I don't like stitching with 2 threads, but I think the coverage is fine. I think it looks great. All of the floss is DMC, I believe. Yes, it's all DMC floss, and the coverage looks great. So I think he's super cute. He is going to have a strawberry in his mouth, in his beak, and then under that strawberry is a big pair of black scissors, and then it's going to say stitch on, and then 2024 right here, and then there's a key, a black key. So yeah, super cute. I love it. So yeah, make sure you get that cookbook. We always bring them back with us from Nashville, and they'll be in my Etsy shop. Sorry the furnace is running. It's so loud, but oh, it just quit. Thank you. Okay, whoops. The next 2 that I'm going to show you are going to be in the Hello Spring book that will be released at the Nashville Market in March. I know. I would have sent these out to be stitched, but I just got them done as far as designing and got the floss pulled and everything. And I don't like sending things out to stitchers and saying, can you stitch this and have it back to me in 2 weeks? You know, so I'm going to be stitching like it's my job here in the next couple weeks, guys. Hope I can get it all done. But here is the design, and 1761 was the year that scissors were invented, so that's why I have that date on there. And I have a very tiny start. This is it. That's my start, guys. Not much, is it? So I'm stitching this on 40 count Brea by Needle and Flax. And I'm going to finish it on a Chantelle board. I wrote that note because the measurement is going to be perfect to fit on one of her boards. So yeah, watch the progress on that in a couple weeks. I might even have it done. I probably won't. Well, I need to have it done because I've got to get that book out to the publisher. So yeah, in 2 weeks it will be done. It has to be done, stitched, and fully finished. So when I'm done with this, Kevin has a gig tonight, so he'll be gone the rest of the day. When I'm done with this video, I'm going to go up. I have amazing homemade chicken noodle soup that I'm gonna have for dinner, and then I'm gonna sit and stitch the rest of the evening. Because I have another piece that's for the spring book for Nashville. And I'm stitching that one too. This one's much smaller. This is, the stitch count's only 59 by 82 on this. I'm stitching, this next one I'm stitching on 32 count Lakeside Linen patina. And I love it. And I'm stitching it with flower threads, which I'm stoked about. And I didn't get very far with it. Here's my threads. And I can tell you right now that I absolutely love stitching with these. Absolutely love it. Oh, so stitching on 32 count, I don't have to do 2 over 2. Makes my heart so happy. And this is all I have done. Now, I may have to flip my fabric over and start over because I'm an idiot. So when I started stitching this, okay? But I got confused because I was watching TV while I was stitching, and I thought I was stitching this. So if you look on my fabric, it's over way too far now, because I have another strawberry here, and then that's mirrored on this side. I mean, it's gonna be close. I think it'll be okay. So now that I have that strawberry done, I'm gonna go up here, do those leaves, and then I'm gonna do this guy over here. And then I can eyeball it. I think I'll have enough. I hope so, because I don't want to restart it. But the flower thread is heaven to work with. Makes me really happy. And it's nice and full. Oh, God, the coverage is amazing on it. Super happy. So those are my whips. Those are my, oh my gosh, I have to get them done whips. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things I want to start. After I get those things done, these are going to be my starts. I have had this Aztec Red fabric for probably 2 years or more from Weeks Dye Works. And I just haven't found the right piece to stitch on it. Well, for Patreon January, I can show you, I don't have all of them with me right here, but this was the tier 4 design. Can you imagine that stitched on red? Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to stitch that on red. So I'm just gonna stitch that on 40 count Aztec Red. Here's all the floss colors, which that 503 is not in this design, but it's in the other 2 designs for Patreon for January. So I'm excited to start that, but like I said, I won't be starting that probably for a couple weeks, or just whenever I get those other 2 done. And then Monday, I'm sorry I'm talking about Patreon a lot, but Patreon is a big part of my business now, and it's so much fun. I love it so much. I'm starting a new sale. It's called Hometown, and it's for Patreon members in the tier 4, and it's a mystery sale. It's going to be a 2-year mystery sale. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But this is a big chart. Oh, I don't have the stitch count right here in front of me. Hold on. Stitch count is 182 by 356. And I wanted to make this stitch along so that everybody could get it done and not feel stressed about it, including myself, because like you guys know, I don't have a ton of time to stitch. So I wanted to make sure I could keep up with it. So each month, each page, the stitch count is, what was it now? Like 50 by 63. That's as big as it will be, you know? So that's very doable each month. So here is all you can see. It has no border, and it's a vertical design, which is super exciting. On Monday, that piece right there will post. Yep. So I'm starting that on Monday as well. But I might not start it on Monday. I mean, I have a whole month to get that small section done. I'm going to stitch mine on 40 count Fox and Rabbit up in the attic. So there you go. That is going to be a new start for me coming up soon. So I think that's all I have. I mean, I know that's all I have. And I mean, I have haul, I have other things, but it's been it's been 2 months since my last floss tube. And I mean, in those 2 months, I don't even remember what all came in. I can tell you this, I'm trying out some new needles. I'm getting low on my inventory of Pat Carson needles. So I posed the question in Patreon, what is your favorite needle? And I tallied up all the results, and Peacemaker was #1. But I'm pretty sure I've used Peacemaker before. I don't know, I want to try something different. So I ordered Pony Black and Ed Mar. And I've gotten the Ed Mar ones in just today actually, and I haven't used them yet. But anyways, I will let you know the results of what I think of those needles. I love the Pat Carson needles, but as you know, they're not being made anymore. I love them because they don't bend. I have no problem with them at all. They're so good. I have used other needles before. I think it was Bowen. I don't know what brand it was, so I really shouldn't say because I don't want to say something that's not true. But whatever needle it was I was using, it bent. I mean, and I don't know why it would bend so easy. I'm just stitching with it. But I'm like, you know, I would rather pay more. And I don't lose my needles. I don't. Basically, I have this little case and it has a magnet in it, and I keep the needle that I'm using currently is on that magnet. I don't use a needle minder because they can fall off there, but this magnet, you know, case sits next to me. It has my extra needles in their packaging. So if I need an extra one, or I need, you know, if I want to have a color threaded that I know I'm going to be going back to real quick, I might get another needle out. I might have 3 needles going at a time on a certain project if I don't want to constantly be threading. But for the most part, I'm good with my needles. My Pat Carsons have lasted me a long time, and I want to keep it that way. But I know it'll come to an end, so I am trying out some new needles. I think that's all I want to talk about, and I will see you in 2 weeks. And hopefully have a lot more done to show you. Thanks for joining me today. And don't forget to create every day. Bye.